If you're tired of not being able to touch your toes from standing, then you just need to work on your hamstring flexibility. And maybe you've tried to fix your tight hamstrings before, but it just didn't lead you anywhere near your desired result. And I get you. In this video, I'm going to provide you with 2 extremely effective exercises that you should do to increase your hamstring flexibility and finally touch your toes from standing. I'll also share with you why you feel so stiff at the first place. You're going to love the results and will be quite surprised at how easy these exercises are. But there is one trick you should keep in mind to make these exercises work. So before I show you how to fix your tight hamstrings, I need to make sure you're not going to fall into the same trap as everyone else. Let me introduce you to one of the main reasons why you might not be able to touch your toes from standing. Well, mainly it's a sedentary lifestyle. When we sit all day long, our hamstrings just become short, tight, because basically nothing happens to them. And when you don't move your muscles, don't train them, you just teach them to stay short in the same position all day long. So eventually they just sleep, so they become short, stiff and weak. So when you ask them to stretch, they just simply cannot perform well. And another not so obvious reason why you're not as flexible as you would like to be actually is your nervous system. Yeah, it holds you back from your desired flexibility by contracting the muscles and preventing you from going further in your stretches. So the receptors in your muscles are not confident when you're trying to stretch them suddenly after all these hours of sitting, so they just freak out and they send the signals to your nervous system that, uh-oh, you are going to hurt yourself. And in response, your nervous system just sends a stop signal that contracts your muscles and makes you feel stiff. There are, of course, many more reasons why your hamstrings might be tight, but today I would love to focus only on these 2 because, in my opinion, these are main reasons why you're struggling with your hamstring flexibility. And yes, actually, this is a trap everyone falls into. To become more flexible, people just tend to stretch and that's it, and eventually they fail. As you can see, when we work on our hamstring flexibility, we also need to work on the muscle activation to wake them up after these hours of sitting. And on the other hand, we also need to calm down our nervous system so it will allow us to stretch better and further. For example, during my yoga classes, my students make great progress in their flexibility, as I always include some warm-up for muscles and joints to just activate them, and a tiny meditation at the beginning to relax your mind. So if you want to become more flexible and feel more agile and young, then just join my free online live workshop. I will leave the link in the description below. Let me go deeper and show you exactly how to fix your tight hamstrings in 5 minutes. But before we get started, I'm inviting you to take a quick test to see how far can you stretch with your back straight. So one important thing to understand is when you're trying to reach your toes from standing, the motion just shouldn't come from your spine bending or your back curling. The movement should come from your hip joint. Just remember it. The pelvis and the femur should be articulating while the spine stays in the same position. And what a lot of people do instead, which is absolutely incorrect, they just initiate the stretch by curling the back. So this way you're engaging your back muscles, not the hamstrings. We want to focus on tilting the pelvis instead. Let's take the test together now. To do the forward fold correctly, breathe and lengthen your spine forward with your back straight. And on the exhalation, start bending from your hips. Got it? How far did you get? Snap a photo and save it. And remember that this is completely okay if you don't do it perfectly as a newbie. It's okay to bend just a little. And then we will take the same photo after exercising. So if you got it, let's do the exercises now. So to achieve better flexibility, we first need to activate the muscles so they will be more engaged. Let's do this exercise together. Sit on the chair and elevate one leg without rounding your back. And no cheating here, please. Hold it up with your foot flexed for at least 30 seconds. And the count begins. You can lean your back just a little bit if it feels like too much, but keep your back straight, this is very important. This exercise helps build strength in your hip flexors and activates them. So now try to elevate the leg a little bit more, and we're done. Great job. Now change the legs and we will repeat the same exercise. Elevate the other leg and hold it there with the foot flexed for 30 seconds. Feel how your quads and hip flexors are getting activating and your hamstrings are finally stretching. Feel your calves start activate as well and feel this heat in your legs. And when you think that you just cannot hold it anymore, instead of giving up, try to elevate the foot a little bit more and hold it for 5 more seconds. And now relax. Great job. For the second exercise, we'll need to use a sofa, bench or chair. Depending on your flexibility, you can use something shorter or taller. Just put it in front of you and don't rush to do the exercise. First watch me and then we'll do it together. So on the inhalation, you will need to elevate your arms up, stretch them. And on the exhalation, you need to start to slowly lean forward and without bending your back. But that's not all. We need to deal with your nervous system. How can we do it? By calming it down. Let's first use some logic. First of all, acknowledge that you will feel some pain. And second, make a conscious decision to relax despite that pain. Good news, by using a breathing technique, you can calm your nervous system and allow your body to stretch more. Now I'll show you the breathing technique. Just watch me and then we will do the exercise with the breathing technique all together. Inhale for 4 counts through the nose, retain just for a second, and exhale through the nose for 8 counts. Then there will be a natural retention for a couple of seconds before you repeat the breathing cycle again. Now, if you're ready, let's do the exercise together with the breathing technique. Inhale in 4 counts and stretch your arms all the way up with the crown of your head just reaching up to the sky. Now retain for a second and on the long 8 count exhalation, start to slowly lean forward with your back straight until you reach the chair or whatever you have in front of you. Rest your arms there and keep on breathing as I showed you. And we'll stay here for at least for the next 60 seconds. We'll breathe in slowly, inhaling in 4 and exhaling in 8. So the count begins. Inhale in 1, 2, 3, 4, retain, and exhale at 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do a little pause. Now short retention before we do the cycle again. Inhale and feel how the oxygen goes into your throat, fills your lungs and belly, and how it travels back out on the exhalation. So this breathing technique also works for reducing stress and anxiety, and I really love it. As you progress, you might gradually lower the chair you are bending onto or increase the stretching time. And the 60 seconds are done. You've nailed it. Great job. And that's it. Now you know 2 best exercises that fix tight hamstrings. I will recommend you to do this quick routine twice a week, 2 sets of 2 exercises. Make sure you go slowly and take a rest if needed, so you will feel that everything is under control. And remember, only straight back. And it's time for the test again. Do the test we did before exercises and let me know in the comments below how much your flexibility has improved actually. Did you get any closer? Now that we have your hamstring stretch, I have to admit that there are some flexibility secrets that every beginner needs to know.